Hello and welcome again to Chris's Caribbean Delights. And today's episode is going to be about a cupcake, a carrot cake cupcake. And I had some extra carrots laying around after I did another dish, and I decided to make some cupcakes from it. I juiced some, and then I decided to make some cupcakes, also some carrot cake cupcakes. Um, and we're gonna put a nice little frosting, cream cheese frosting on them, and just make it kind of delectable. Um, so, before further ado, let's go to those ingredients. Let me introduce you to the ingredients I'll be using, and let's go from there. Let's move over to the ingredients. First things first, as I always say, have your pans already prepared before you start making your batter for your cakes and or anything else. But have your pans already prepared. So I have prepared my pans here. I have two cupcake pans, which I lined with the cupcake papers. So we are ready with our pans. Now, over here, I have some flour. I'm going to leave all the measurements down below in the description box below. The measurements are going to be there. But right now, we have like 2.5 cups of flour. We have 2.5 cups of carrots, shredded carrots. I have like 6 eggs there. Some walnuts. I put some walnuts in there, and I always advise to toast your nuts. If you toast your walnuts, it takes away that rawish kind of taste that it would usually have, and it brightens up the nut, so, and brings the fragrance out. It gets very fragrant. So always toast your nuts. For some moisture, we have some sour cream. We have some oil, about 1.5 cups of oil, and the eggs are going to add moisture there also. For our spices, I have here nutmeg, 1 tablespoon, no, 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, 1 tablespoon of ginger, freshly grated ginger, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon for the spices. We have here some salt. I have 1.5 teaspoons of salt, baking powder, and baking soda. Baking soda is over here. Baking powder over here. Our sweet elements would be brown sugar, which I have here, 2/3 cup of brown sugar and a 3/4 cup of white sugar. I'm gonna be adding some vanilla into that. This vanilla is directly from the Dominican Republic. I got it over there when I was on vacation, and it's wonderful. It's an awesome addition to my pantry here. So, before further ado, let's get our dry ingredients together in a bowl, and we'll start there. So I'm going to use a sifter. I'm going to sift it all out. The flour, the 2.5 cups of flour. We're going to add the baking powder, baking soda. I'm going to add the salt in there, the spices, that's the cinnamon and the nutmeg. I'm going to put it all in there. The ginger, since it's a fresh ginger, you're going to add that in later. So I'm going to just sift this all out and set this aside. So we'll just set this aside and we'll get our wet ingredients together. Putting the oil in here. And the eggs. And our sour cream. We have the oil and the eggs, and now we're going to put our sour cream in here. And we'll just whisk this and get it all mixed and incorporated. Get this all mixed. So I'm going to give this a whisk, and I'll also add my ginger in here right now. And I'll give this a whisk, and then I'll be back when we're going to combine it. In order to get my sugar melted, I add my sugar in with the wet ingredients right now, and let that go, because we're doing everything by hand. We're not using a stand mixer or anything. So I'll just continue whisking here, get everything well mixed. Yeah, that seems to be pretty good. So, I have a lot of moisture, which is going to be nice, and for the cupcakes, keep them nice and moist. Right now, we can just add maybe 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This wonderful Dominican vanilla, and I'm going to whisk that in. Next, we're going to put our carrots in here. Just put our shredded carrots. So let's incorporate wet ingredients with the dry. Using a whisk, I'll just mix this all in until it's almost incorporated. Then we're going to go to a spatula because it's going to get really thick. There we go. We're just going to fold everything in here. Just fold it in. Don't forget your nuts, your toasted nuts. We're just going to fold those in also.
Now we don't want to overwork the batter, because when you overwork the batter, that gluten, the gluten that's in the flour gets exposed, or starts to build up. And when that gluten builds up, your cake would look fine when it's baking and stuff like that, but once it starts to cool down, it's gonna contract, and it's going to shrink, and you don't want that. So that is why you don't overwork your cake batter, or you don't overbeat it, or beat it to death. You're not making a bread, you're making a nice moist cake. So don't overwork the batter, or else the gluten is going to come out, is going to be expanding, and then when it's finished, when it's cooling, it's just contract again, and your cake is just going to shrink, and you don't want that. Okay, so never overwork your cake batter. Okay, so we're going to just fold. We're going to continue folding in here, unfolding our toasted nuts in here. Then we're going to fill our muffin, our our cupcake pans. Yeah. And the oven is already, you crank your oven up to 375. I'm going to put it in at 375 for about 5 minutes. I need that initial blast of heat to wake it up, to wake up the batter, and to get it moving. And like 5 minutes later, I'm going to just reduce it to 350, and then I'll cook it for another, I'll bake it for an additional 12 to 14 minutes. So crank your oven up to 375 for the initial heating. Okay, you can also put some raisins in there if you want to. If you're that, if you like raisins, and you fill these up three quarters to the top, not all the way to the top, just about three quarters filled, and because you have to give them some space to do their thing, all right? So I'm going to go ahead, fill the rest up, and I'll be back when I'm going to pop them in the oven. So here we go, 375 for the first 5 minutes. Oh, that's not hot. I can abuse my hand. 375 for the first 5 minutes, and then we'll drop the heat. Drop the heat to 350. So while our cakes are cooling, they just came out of the oven. So while they're cooling, we'll make the frosting and do the cream cheese frosting, and we'll get them frosted. They have to be completely cool before you can put that frosting on, because you know what's going to happen. It's going to melt and be running all over the place, and we don't want that. So we'll give it about an hour, a couple of hours, until it cools down completely, and then we'll put that frosting on there. See you then. I just want to show you what the inside looks like and how soft and moist it is. So we're going to get some frosting and we're going to frost some of them. Awesome. So let's see what frosting we're going to put on there now. Well, I'm using an 868 thimble or tip here. That's a large, or kind of like a large star, and that's just I'll just put a coating, like, so to speak, like a cover. I'll just do like something like that, but then I'll smooth it off because I want to put the carrots on there. So I'm just putting a dollop, kind of, then I'll smooth that off so that it would be like a topping, like a top, a base for the carrots to sit on. Not the best froster here. But practice makes perfect. At least I just want to get some practice in here. Let's see. Yeah. That'll work. All right.
Thank you for watching, guys. And these are the cupcakes that I've been icing. I'm not a professional icer, but I tried, and I'm getting there. But I just wanted to decorate the carrot cake cupcake, the carrot cupcakes. So these are my carrot cupcakes. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next clip.